All right, now the setup can make or break your golf swing. There's one thing that every good player does, and if you want to hit the driver well, you have to do this right. Now, in the downswing, that club has to shallow out. And what I mean by this is when your hands are roughly shoulder high or chest high in the downswing, we got to have this club shaft pointing out to the golf ball. If the club shaft is steep, then we're going to have to reroute this and things get a little bit dicey. Now, if we get this club shallowed out, we also have to do something after this is very important. As we're making the downswing, when the club's what I call last parallel, or the last time the club shaft is parallel with the ground, we have to have that golf club, if this is pointing down my target line or straight toward my target, we have to have that golf club inside that target line. Now that's what's called the slot. And crazy enough, it doesn't matter if you're hitting a draw or a fade, you want that club inside the target line on both of those. If I'm playing a fade, it's inside the target line and I swing a little more left. If I'm playing a draw, it's inside the target line and I swing a little bit more to the right. So it doesn't matter any shot that you're hitting, we always have to have that club to the inside and shallow. Now, if you don't set up right, it makes it daggone near impossible to do those two things that we just talked about. If you do set up right, it's a lot easier. So let's start out with the most important part, and this would be the grip. It all kind of starts from the grip. Now, if you imagine if I take this grip and my palms of my hands are more vertical or even, heaven forbid, to the left, it's going to be very tough to get in this position. Let's start out with palms left. Now, here's the way I like to teach the grip if I'm doing it very, very simply. The palms of the hands, as they tilt more this way, that would be a weaker grip. As they go more this way, that would be a stronger grip. So if I'm setting up to this golf club, I open up my hands and I make my palms here. Then I take my grip. You can see how my right hand is more on top. My left hand is more underneath, or basically my palms are turning more this way. Now I can get into infinite detail about exactly how you should do it. That doesn't matter nearly as much as just what the palms are doing. So if I get my palms more this way to the left, that's going to automatically kick my upper body. Watch how it gets on top now. Look how my right shoulder gets kind of high and out in front. If you were to put a club on my forearms now, I've tilted these forearms to the left if I'm looking down the target line. So as I do that, look at the shoulders, look at the forearms. Right forearm gets higher than my left forearm. All this goes to the left. Well, that sets me up in a position to where I'm going to be steeper in the downswing and swinging more to the left instead of getting shallower and from the inside. Make it easy on yourself. We make golf so daggone hard, it doesn't have to be that hard. Go ahead and get your palms about what feels like 45 degrees to the right. So again, if I'm going to set up to this golf club, open up my hands and make my palms, and then I'm going to turn my body. Right shoulder now gets lower. My upper body gets more behind. My right palm feels like it's under the club. Left palm is on top. And now when I take the grip from this position, I'm much more from the inside. Now you notice this, when I do that, look at that right forearm now. That gets lower than my left forearm. I want that right forearm slightly lower if I want to make sure that I get from the inside. The second one there is you can see that my shoulders are now behind my hips. So just changing my grip, got my sternum or my shirt buttons behind my belt buckle. That's a great position to be in to now get from the inside and shallow that out. And then finally, that gets my body just a little bit more closed or to the right, the entire thing. So even my knees are going to feel like they're slightly more to the right. So change that grip, get the palms 45 to the right. That's going to tilt your shoulders, get you from the inside. And now I feel like I'm going to slot this club in here. And again, we make it so daggone hard, it doesn't have to be that hard. Get 10 times too much to the inside. I never see anybody over shallow it. I never see anybody swing too much from the inside. Swing as far from the inside as you can. And then once you start to overdraw it, just tone it down a little bit. Feel like you play a little bit more of a fade and it'll be that nice tight draw. So here we go. Big time tilt to the right. I'm going to overdo this. Way shallow from the inside. I'm going to feel like my club touches this wall and then I just swing out to the right. If I overdraw it, heck, who cares? I'm going to be killing it when I do that. Let's go ahead and give it a whirl. There we go. Started that one to the right, drew it back. Not going to hit it a whole heck of a lot better than that. Now, to get that ball to draw back, there's one more piece to this. Now, everything we did here, getting my grip, getting the club more from the inside, getting it to release inside out, that's all a draw type pattern. But unfortunately, if I don't square up the face, so if I do all this, I get the club more from the inside, and as I hit the golf ball, the face is open or to the right, it's going to be a block or a block slice. Now, most likely, you've probably made this grip change before. You've probably had your body in a pretty good position like this before, but you were missing this next piece, and it didn't result in good shots. Now, we need to learn to square the club up like the pros are doing. It's what I call the anti-roll method. You see, most players have been taught to square up the face by rolling the arms over each other, rolling these forearms over. That's not what the pros are doing. They're using their wrist in a very specific way so that they can shallow it out as much as they want, and they know that club is going to release on through, and they're going to get those draws like I did there. It actually feels really easy once you get this move down. Now, I'm going to play a preview of a video. It's going to walk you through it step by step. It's going to tell you exactly what the anti-roll method is. It's going to show you what you need to do with your wrist, everything that you need to know to learn this move that all the pros are doing. All you need to do is go ahead, click the card that pops up somewhere on the screen. It's called an iCard. If you don't see something that pops up here on the screen, go ahead and click down below in the link in the description below. You'll be able to get instant access to that video from either of those spots. So click there now. I can't wait to show you this anti-roll method so you can start hitting these great draws and make golf really daggone easy. Let's go and get started. So here's the bottom line. If you've been taught to roll the club in the early downswing, that causes the shaft to get steep. And that steep club causes all your problems. It causes you to hit it way behind the big hitters and way inconsistent with your quality of strikes. So you're in the tall grass and the trees and the hazards all day long. Now the great news is this. There's really only two pieces that you need to know to fix all these problems. The first one is we need to learn the proper way to square up the club face. Instead of rolling the forearms and getting steep, there's another way that the pros do this. Once you learn this right way to square up the club face, then you can shallow out from the inside and everything starts to fit together. Now I'm going to teach you this right now in what I call the anti-roll method. You may also hear this called the motorcycle move or the tour twist, but let's walk through exactly how to do that. Now what I want you to do is go ahead and go kind of in the last parallel in the downswing. So here, I want my hips to go ahead and be opening up. I want my club to be parallel with the ground, and I want my hands to be in front of my right thigh. Now, when I take my grip, you're going to notice that when I do this, the club face is basically straight up and down. So if I'm looking at it from this angle, you'll see the face is straight up and down, and my logo of my glove is pointed out in front of me. Now from there,